Hello students, today we will start next topic, management as a science, art and profession. How management could be a science, art and profession. Now we will study these 3 points in detail. Management as a science, I'll explain this point first. It refers to a systematic body of knowledge that explain certain general truth. What does it mean? Students, you know, in science we are having some fundamental principles, rules and regulation which are based on certain truth, which are based on some certain experiments. Without experiment we cannot create any fact and theory. That is the meaning of science. I'll let you clear this point with the help of an example, because this line doesn't make you clear, right? For example, a person completes his study of engineering. During the course of his study, he gets a complete theoretical knowledge of the subject. What does it mean? Suppose a person is doing engineering. During the course of his study, he get the all theoretical knowledge of the subject. That is the science. But now how this science is implemented in our management. Suppose when a manager get all the theoretical knowledge how to run a business, what are the fundamental principles, rules, regulations and theories for doing the good management, that is the science. I hope this word is clear to you students, right? Getting the theoretical knowledge of the subject is called science, right? Now this word has some features. Systematic body of knowledge. Systematic body of knowledge means it has some theories, rules and regulation. The same way management has his own theory and principles which are developed by the management experts after years of research. It means that when we create any fact and theory, it cannot be created over the night. It takes a long time for the experimentation, for the observation. The same way management has his own theories and approach which the management experts developed after a long research. The next point is principles based on experimentation. Science means experimentation. In science, you have done a lot of experiments, students, right? The same way the management came into the existence after a continuous research and study. In management, we are having fundamental principles. How these principles formed? Because many of our managerial experts are doing the researches from a very long time for these principles. They have done the researches for a very long time to create these fundamental principles, right? After experimentation, principles are created. The next point is universal validity. Universal validity means these principles, these things are universal in their nature. These principles, these fundamental things are applied at every time and in every situation. In its universal application is possible. Universal application means if we are in India we can use, if we are in China we can use, because they are universal in their universal nature, because they are universal. In the field of management too, managerial knowledge and principles of management are also based on truth. They can be applied anywhere. If we are doing our business in India, we can also apply. If we are doing our business in America, in China, at that time we can also these fundamental principles in our business also, because they are universal in the nature, right? But principle of management are not as exact as the principle of science. We cannot change the principle of science. Because they are exact. But the principle of management are not exact. A manager could change the principle according to his situation, according to his circumstances. They are flexible in nature. A manager could use these principles according to his way. Because they are not exact. Principle of management are not related with pure science. Pure science means which is not adulterated, which is pure in nature. But in business, we are having sometime very difficult or critical condition. At that time, we cannot use this principle directly. We can change, we can alter this principle according to our situations. Right, students? That is the management as a science. Now, we will move to the next point. Management as an art. Management as an art, it refers to the practical application of existing knowledge skillfully. Now, I let you clear with the help of an example. When a person, after completing the course of engineering, starts working as an engineer in a company, his work is known as an art. When we have theoretical knowledge, when we are getting theoretical knowledge, it is called as a science. When we will use our theoretical knowledge at our work is called art. How we will use our theoretical knowledge, that is an art. The same way it applies in the management. When a manager is getting the theoretical knowledge of the business, fundamental principles, rules and regulation, that is the management as a science. But when a manager uses his theoretical knowledge at his actual work, at his workplace, at that time, management is an art. The way of using our knowledge, right? It has also some features. The first one is existence of theoretical knowledge. You know, students, we cannot do the work if we are not having any theoretical background. For doing any work, we must know its theoretical part. We must know how to do it. That means existence of theoretical knowledge is the basic thing for an art. I hope this point is clear to you. Then personalized application. Personalized application means the practical use of theoretical knowledge varies from one person to another. Every person will use his theoretical knowledge in his own way, right? For example, two teachers, two players, two artists are always differ in their demonstrating their art, right? Manager also apply the theoretical knowledge of management differently depending on how creative they are. What they have learned, they will use this learning in their own way. Every person's style of using their theoretical knowledge is different, right? That means personalized application. What does it mean? It means that every person will use his theoretical knowledge in his own way. It varies from one person to another, right? But students, next is based on practice and creativity. Based on practice and creativity means just as art can be flourished with the help of practice. You know, students, जितना प्रैक्टिस हम करेंगे उतना ज़्यादा हमारा आर्ट इम्प्रूव होगा, राइट? It is also applied in the managerial skills also. Every manager has a desire to become a complete expert in his field. But how he will become the expert of his field? By doing practice, right? By creating some new things, right? And the managers can fulfill their desire by doing the continuous efforts, right? Managerial process is not finished at one task. We have studied in the features of management that management is a continuous process. How a manager can become an expert by doing the continuous efforts, because in the business we are having a lots of work, and by doing this work we can become expert. Right, students? These are the features of management as an art. Now we'll move to the next, management as a profession. Management as a profession. It refers to that economic activity which is conducted by a person having some special knowledge and skill, which is used to serve various sections of the society. Profession means to whom we will call professional. In the previous lecture we have studied that a professional refers to that person who is having some special knowledge and skill which is used to serve the different sections of the society, like teachers, like doctors, like lawyers. There are so many other professions are there. If we want to become a professional, we must have some skills and knowledge. Everybody could not be a teacher. Everybody could not be a doctor, right? For becoming a doctor, for becoming a teacher, the person should have the specific qualification. Only after getting all specific qualification, we can become professionals, right? Now, management as a profession have some characteristic also. The first one is well-defined body of knowledge. Well-defined body of knowledge means, well-defined body of knowledge, the foremost quality of a professional is the possessing of specialized knowledge. Without having special knowledge, we cannot become a successful professional. Management has its own principles based on experiment, right? On the basis of this speciality, management can be accepted as a profession, right, student? The next is restricted entry. You know, in every professional institution, restricted entries are there. If we want to become a doctor, we cannot go to it without completing their requirements, right, students? If we will fulfill their requirements, only then we can be allowed there. Otherwise, restricted entry is for us. But for becoming a manager, it is not applicable there, right, students? The third point is professional association. Professional, the third characteristic of profession is that it must have a representative professional association. Representative professional association means, students, if we want to do LLB, then the Bar Council of India for lawyers. If we want to do doctorate, then we will go to Medical Council of India for doctors. Professional institution associations are for professional peoples. We have to go for that. If we want to do professional course, professional degree, then we will go to the professional associations. Without going there, we cannot do a professional degree. Then the next is ethical code of conduct. Ethical code of conduct means members of a profession are bound to follow a code of conduct. Code of conduct, you know, students, rules and regulations. By code of conduct, we mean the rules and regulation framed to guide the behavior of professionals, right? If we are in the medical college, then we have to follow their rules and regulation. If we are in the if we are doing LLB, then we have to follow their rules and regulation, right? They have, because they want to frame, they want to guide the behavior of their members, so they create the code of conduct. Code of conduct simply means rules and regulation. Then the next is service motive. Service motive, the main motive of a profession is to serve the society, right? For example, no doubt a doctor follows his profession for his living, but to ensure that his patient get justice happens to be his chief motive. We cannot deny that their earning motive is there. but their earning motive is secondary. Their first and primary motive is to serve the society, right? And these are the characteristic of management as a profession, right students? Now we will discuss the next and little topic, levels of management. Levels of management means when all the employees are working in an organization can be divided into two categories. Which are these two categories? Managerial members and non-managerial members. Managerial members and non-managerial members, we will divide our organization into two categories. On the basis of these two categories, and the total organization will be divided into two levels. What are these? Managerial levels and the non-managerial levels. Managerial levels and non-managerial levels. Students, I think enough for the day. We will discuss these levels of management in our next class.